Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. So today's layout, I'm using the Maggie Holmes Bloom collection, and like I've mentioned in other videos, I'm going to work through this entire paper collection. I have used this paper collection for, I'm going to say, maybe about 4 or 5 different layouts, and I have yet to make a dent in it at all. Um, I think it's because I'm not going embellishment heavy like I usually do. Like, I'm being very minimalistic. That's just my quote unquote style. Yes, I just did air quotes. Okay, guys? Um, for right now. And so yeah, but I want more of this collection. If it sounds so wrong, but I have still so much of it, but I want more. Like, I just love all the florals in it. So I decided that I was going to start with a white piece of cardstock, and that for about half of my layout I was going to use that wood grain that you see on screen. It's kind of like a parquet flourish, kind of weathered wood kind of pattern, and a black and white polka dot. So fairly simple, but the entire left hand side is covered in cardstock, or I should say pattern paper, and the entire right hand side is just white cardstock. So I'm using 3 pictures for today's layout, and for the most part I don't use 3 pictures. At the most I usually use 2. So this is a little different for me, and I had to think outside of the box on how I was going to use all the pictures but still have a lot of that negative space or that white space that I like so much. So I decided that I was going to do a vertical layout. So the 3 pictures here that I'm using are of my daughter and her first bike. So her aunt and her uncle bought her first bike, and she absolutely loves it. And actually, that tag, before I continue, is from American Crafts, and it's the do-it-yourself newspaper tags, and I found that at Tuesday Morning last time I crossed the border, and I just love them. So I had to add that. So like I was saying, the picture is of my daughter and her first bike, and she just was so happy to get a bike. She had been asking for one, and I kept saying no because she's kind of in between sizes of bikes. She's a big girl. She's like probably the size of a 5-year-old. She's really tall. People always think she's like 4 or 5, but I'm like, no, she's 2 and like barely 2.5. And yeah, so I kept saying no to her because she comes up with one obsession after another. And, finally, she was talking to her uncle, and her uncle's like, hey, do you want a bike? And I looked at him and I'm like, no. I mouthed no to him. And he's like, can I buy her a bike? And I kind of felt not obligated, but why would I say no? They wanted to buy her a bike, so I said yes. Um, and she loves it. Okay, it was maybe not what I wanted for her at that time, but she loves it, so I guess that's what's important. So I went through the cut apart page, and there are pieces that I'm using. They're tags and kind of wording, and they don't necessarily make sense with the layout, but I cut them out, and as you could see, you can't even tell what they say, but I'm just going really for the punch of color that they add to the layout. That's what I wanted. So with the collection, I used the ephemera, and I also used the accent stickers that you see me working with right now. So there's a tag, and I cut the tag in half, so I'm going to use half on one spot, half on another spot. And there's just, a whole lot of layering on this layout. None of it makes sense. It's all kind of, it's more about the layering in on this sort of layout. And so, what am I doing here? I decide where I'm going to put my title, and it's going to be in the top right hand corner. And so I want to have a place for the title to kind of sit. So I go through the 6x6 card paper pack, and I just cut some of the scraps that I had and just give a base for the lettering to sit on. And so I end up using thickers that you'll see I'll pull out in a minute, and those are in the doll. They're in black, and I spell bike with those stickers. So I've been doing mixed font titles for a little while now, actually for a long while, and I don't think I even realized that I was doing them. But that's what I'm doing here. So bike is in the doll, and then I end up using the snap color vibe in the lights for the rest of the title. So I end up writing first with that corally kind of orange, and there are bits and pieces of the layering that are the same color, so I wanted to add the continuity to the title as well. So here's where I discovered that I was out of R's, and I was like, crap, I already stuck down some of the lettering. So I make an R out of a P and a letter J. So yeah. And there's my title, First Bike. So then I decide that I need something else, so I pull up some of the lettering and stick down that wooden kind of cardstock looking sheet, or piece, I should say. And I'm going to go through, I go through the sticker sheet often because I want to add things, but I end up going through the ephemera pieces and finding something that I liked. So you'll see it coming up. I'm just scooting ahead as I always do. Oh yeah, I decide that I want another cluster. So I cut some of that wreath, that kind of floral wreath, and I just create another cluster there in the bottom left quarter. So it's very simple. The right side is very minimalistic and the left side is a little busier, but I'm liking the look of it. I'm liking the overall look of it. So here are the die cut pieces that I'm going through, like I mentioned, and there's these like a glittered kind of chipboardy cardstock kind of letters, and they say XOXO. So those are the ones that I'm looking for. I'm going through the pack looking for, so because I decided that those are the ones that I want to use somewhere on this layout. I also wanted to use that love, the letters LOVE, but those don't make it onto the layout. They do make it onto another separate layout though. You'll see it coming up soon if I didn't upload it before this one, which sometimes I do. So for the most part, this is my layout, other than at the end, I pull out my Heidi Swapp Color Shine in the Sweet Mint. And I just add some splatters. So, and that minty kind of color goes with what my daughter is wearing. There's some pieces like on her bike that are the same color, and in the cardstock, the pattern paper that I use. And so it just kind of ties everything together and makes it look all as one. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I hope you guys will join me for the next one. Tune back again soon as I'm working on some stuff. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.